Okay, guys, this is how we're going to do our Photoshop biography for VisCom. Super easy, few steps. If you miss anything, rewind, watch it again. Okay, so we're going to go to Photoshop. We're going to create something new here. And when we create this new document, you're going to put in your first and last name and then type in biography. This is going to be our VisCom biography. And so we go 7 inches wide. Make sure it's set to inches and not pixels. It's a very small document. 7 inches wide, 5 inches tall. And then this resolution right there, want to make sure it says 300. That's a big deal. Okay. Once we've got that, we'll select OK or create, excuse me. And here is our working document. Okay. There are only going to be 3 things on here with one effect. All right. The first thing we need to do is put our photograph on here. All right. So if you've already downloaded your photo, hopefully you have, you're going to go to File and Place Embedded. We want to embed it into this document. And then I'm going to go to my downloads and thank you, Hunter, for letting me use your picture. I just double click on that picture. It puts it on the page. Now I've got these handles here. I can resize and move them around to make this bigger. And I'm going to have this so that it actually takes up more than half of the document, and because I'm going to do a little gradient fade a little bit later on here. Okay. So I've got my photograph in there. I hit this little check mark right here, and that will tell it that, yeah, I want to put that in place. And now when I look over here at my layers, you can see I've got my background, the thing I started with, and then one image so far. Okay. Now I need to put text on here. There are 2 different types of text you can do, but it's from the same button, so it can be a little bit confusing. So the first text you can do is headline text, and the next one will be paragraph text. Okay. Headline text, all that requires you to do is you click on our little type tool icon right there. If you want to be a Photoshop player, you just hit T on your keyboard and do the same thing. So let me do that. I hit T on my keyboard, and notice I've got this little, like a little cursor with a little square around it. And if I want a headline, I just click one time. Now, the last thing I did a huge headline, so it kind of remembered that. So let's get this back into normal size here, something a little bit smaller. Okay. And what we're looking to do here is we want to put in our name. Okay. So I'm going to I'll just put in my name like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and click this move tool like that. And now I can click and drag and move it wherever I want to. And because when I use the move tool, I have this box selected where it says show transform controls. Now I can take this and resize this any way that I want. So I can click and drag and resize it. Okay. If I want to change the font, just double click inside of it, or you can also double click on that icon right there. That'll also make it so that I can select it. Use your font. I asked you to download a font of some kind. So I'm a big fan of Babis New or Babis New, either one. So I'll do Babis right there. I love that font. All right. One thing about that font, though, I don't like the spacing between there. That looks better. All right. So I just put an extra space in there. It just looks better with that font. Color wise, I have lots and lots of options I can do here. Probably the easiest way to do this is select it, just like you did right there. This right here is a color swatch. Just it says black right now because the color is black. When I click on that, you can see I get the color picker pops up here. And if I click on any color, it changes every single time. If I move this, I can change it and do that. Now, here is Photoshop play a tip big time right here. Ready? So I love to match colors from inside of a photograph to my text. Here's how I do that. I still have this color picker available here. If I just move my mouse over here, notice that it turns into that little eyedropper tool. And what that means is wherever I click, it's going to sample that and it's going to make that text that color. So here's my background. Every time I'm clicking somewhere, it changes color. So you can see that, right? I'm thinking probably around the shirt. That's kind of a cool gray color. I'm going to stick with that, right? So as soon as I click anywhere, it does that color. A little darker area, it goes a little darker. I'm going to go with that lighter area right there. Looks good. All right, I'm going to select OK. My name is easy to read. Hit the check mark on there. Looks good. Okay, so now the other part of this now is going to be your text, right? We're going to copy and paste from your VisCom biography and get that text into there. So what I need you to do this time, we're going to get the type tool again. Boom. And now this time, remember last time we clicked and then let go and then we just, the text appeared. This time we're going to draw a frame. All right. So this is going to be paragraph text. The previous one was headline text. This one's paragraph text. So I'm going to click and drag and draw this out like that. And I'm going to get again, it's going to remember the text that I did before. So this is all messed up. It's a Latin text. It's kind of space filler there. So here's what I got to do. I've done a bunch of other weird things on here. So I need to set this up and make sure that my character, my spacing is really far off. You can see the spacing everywhere. So just change this to auto. That'll get everything much closer together. Okay. I probably want to do something more along the lines of like 10 point or something like that. I'm going to put it, angle it so that it's left justified. And then I don't have a bunch of text filled in like you guys do. So I'm just going to copy and paste this real fast just so I can fill it up. Okay, so there's all my text is in there. And then I'm going to replace it. I'm going to select it all again. And I'm going to put a font in that's more easily read. That's not really easy to read right there. So I'm going to do something like, I like this Atom text right there. So that's pretty nice. And Atom, yeah, it's kind of thin, but it looks nice. I'll hit that check mark there, and that places that text in there. I think I'm going to make it black also. So I'm just going to go down here, turn that text black, and put that in there. That looks good. Very nice looking. Now, last thing. This photograph, I want to blend it so that it kind of fades because I can't read the text along the side. Like this text right there is hard to read, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called a layer mask on here, all right? To do a layer mask, we're going to go right down here, and then we're going to select the layer where the photo is. So I'm clicking one time. Then I'm going to hit this button right there, which is going to say add a layer mask. So I click on add layer mask. And what you see is that little square will appear right there. Now think about it as if you were painting a house or something like that. Wherever I put tape, I don't want the paint to go. And wherever I don't put tape, the paint's going to go. Okay. So anything that's in white is going to show through. Anything that's in black is going to be hidden. And so what I want is a nice, smooth gradient line. So I'm on this mask, and you can tell I'm in the mask because it's got those lines around the outside of it, right? Right there. That's good. Now I'm going to go to my gradient tool, which is this right here. You can hit G if you want to be a Photoshop player. I'll click on that. And then I'm going to, it's going to go, you can see the colors for the gradient are going from white to black. That's great. And now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to go from the middle of the photo, somewhere around the middle, and I'm going to go this way. And I don't want to go all the way through to the end because I want it to kind of fade out. And I'll go from there to there and release it. And look what happens there. See that? It just faded out. So now what happens, so I'm going to Command Z that real fast so I can do it again for you. The longer I take this line, the softer the fade. So let's say I go outside of the picture there. So you see how I can still see the line. I don't really like that very much. So I'm going to take this from the middle and I'm going to go right to the very edge of the line like that. So that line totally disappears. And now I can read the text. I can read my headline. I can see the photograph. This thing is perfect. It's good to go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save. And you probably already have a name on it, but there's, because we've already started it. So right there, I'm going to save it to my desktop real quick. Click on Save. And I don't want to see this anymore. So just click OK right there. Now, I am ready to submit this assignment. However, I cannot just turn in that Photoshop file. I need to turn in a file format that Schoology can read. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Save As. And for this time, I'm going to go Save As, and see where it says right there. It says Format Photoshop. No, I don't want Format Photoshop. Why don't we just do I like a PNG file. I really do like a PNG file. So PNG right there, and click on Save. And then large file size, that's great. Click OK. All right, so now what do I have? If I go to my desktop and I look real closely, and I got to be able to find it here. It's on here somewhere. I know it is. Let's check and see. Oh, there, I saw it. There it is. So there is my PNG, my name on it. There's the entire thing. It's perfect. And I submit this PNG as my assignment on Schoology. All right. Good job, kids.